that ain't good.
Yeah, it's bad.
Good heavens!
As the legend Dolly Parton once said, it takes a lot of time and money to look this cheap. Turns out she was right. Hello, back at it with the Snow White content. I just wanted to let you know that getting notifications such as, quote, dumpster fire, quote, while I'm going down the escalator of IKEA does indeed make me giggle. Giggle quite hard. So you guys are staying on brand and are quite comedic and hilarious in my opinion. But I also like that there was contrary opinions. I saw a comment that said, I disagree, which, fair. Valid. But also I don't know what you're specifically disagreeing with. I'm gonna assume the title of the video, which is the Snow White movie comments are hilarious, which, you know, everyone has a different sense of humor. So I honestly appreciate that comment because it's also good to know there are people that feel a lot of hope for this movie. I think that's commendable, honestly, more commendable than I also saw a comment and I was reflecting and I was like, okay, also valid, because I was speaking personally when I got a little bit of an ick from the interview I saw from Rachel. She gives me an ick because she reminds me of people that I've seen, people that I've known. And I also saw a comment, they'll never make me hate you, Rachel Zegler. I don't hate her. There's people I hate. Example, Dan Schneider. I hate that guy. I hate how much damage he did to people's lives. I just hate the existence of that dude and what he's done, and that's someone I hate. Rachel, I don't hate. I don't care to that level of, you know, hating her. She just reminds me of people that I want to stay away from. So whenever I kind of like hear her talk, it just makes me want to stay away from her. The people I knew oftentimes would talk over, and it was always this sense of their opinion was much more important than anyone else's opinion, or that their experience is going to be way harder than anyone else's. And the people that I knew didn't seem to be able to view things from other people's perspectives at all. And when I say that, I'm thinking of, in the example of what her worst audition was, that the people were eating their sandwich, but as someone commented, maybe they didn't have a proper lunch break. Maybe Disney's overworking them. We don't know why they didn't sit out in a room to have a sandwich. Maybe they were trying to get as many auditions through as possible. And some people probably feel for them because they didn't even take a lunch break. They were just on the go. But we don't know the full context of the story. I also thought about probably the intern that gets paid nothing, or maybe little to nothing, to bring the sandwiches in and has to go back to their second and third job because of the world that we're in currently. There's a lot of perspectives I saw in that story without her stating it, but I could see that she could only see her perspective, which reminded me of a lot of people. I could give tons of stories, but the example I gave in that video is that she was talking about how bad her audition was, and then I cut to a clip where you can hear bang, 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 bang in the background, because to me, that's my perspective. Right, that's my comparison. I've had an experience where a car thought it was funny to pretend to hit me and my mom, and all I could do was write the driver's license. And then that's kind of my perspective in my world. So her world, the worst thing is this. And in my world, literally the worst thing is the end of everything. Not just like the end of your wallet or your career, like the end of everything. And that is scarier to me, where I think our values are just different, you know? And that's okay. But that's on the previous comments. I still be reading them. I still be loving them. But I wanted to continue this because the fact that I posted that video and then I went to the gas station about a day later, and then I looked behind me, and then there was this Mickey Mouse. I put it on my community post, which I'm also gonna start posting on and keep you more updated on. But yeah, I was getting gas and the Mickey Mouse was just staring at me. It looked like an off-brand Mickey Mouse because I was looking at like what statue that was, but it was just, out of all car space, it just felt like it was staring at me. So that was the day after I posted that video. After someone commented that there's like Walt Disney's ghost amok that's cursing Disney right now. So that was the first thing. Then I started watching this anime you might have heard of. It's called JoJo Bizarre Adventure. I believe all of the episodes are on Netflix. That's where I watched it personally. And there's this episode. It is season 5, episode 25. And crazy enough, they reference Disney in general. They put others like Pinocchio. They have other references, but they focus on Snow White out of anything. The timing that I watched this is crazy, and the accuracy that they depict is actually fascinating. So if you've never watched anime or anything, I'm going to show you exactly why I love it. Also, for context, JoJo is a very interesting show.
You cocky bastard! How dare you waltz back over here after what you did? Stay put! I'm calling the police!
Hello, yes? I need some officers here.
Hey, hold on. By any chance, were you talking to me?
Shut your mouth and get the hell away from my store!
I absolutely love, but I guess it's not for everyone, but when you love it, you love it. Like, I feel like I love it. It is a very unserious...
You asshole!
What the shit? kid is that thing?
Show that can secretly have pretty serious meanings to it. Like, you can read into a few things and think for a minute and be like, oh, that had a way bigger meaning than how it was first portrayed.
This game is over. You don't have any more allies to help you.
And you can really kind of overanalyze, and also the art style is very crazy and very fun. I love it. But I'm going to show you basically how I feel this anime, JoJo Bizarre Adventure, actually depicted Snow White better than what I feel like the trailer Disney, you know, who made Snow White, did. And they even make a reference.
Just so you know, that apple isn't poisonous!
It's okay to eat.
Yeah, but the one Snow White ate was poisonous.
Though she didn't actually eat it. She choked on a piece of it.
So technically, she didn't digest it.
Like, isn't this crazy?
But I mean, who'd eat an apple from an old lady they didn't know?
Even on Valentine's Day, we're careful about the chocolates we put in our mouths.
Although it's that carelessness of hers that makes you want to protect her with your whole life.
Holy shit, how many of you are there?
The things that I looked up from the original Brothers Grimm story is the poison apple wasn't actually poisoned and what killed her, it was lodged in her throat, and then when they were carrying the glass casket, I guess, up to the castle, it just unlodged from her throat and then she was good. They mentioned that in the anime.
Though she didn't actually eat it. She choked on a piece of it.
So technically, she didn't digest it.
They knew the original content, they knew the original Disney and the source of Disney. And from what I've read, Japan, it was the time of animation. Walt Disney was just such an inspiration, but then I feel like Japan took it to another level and, in my opinion, make it a lot more deep. Like, I don't think cartoons and anime are nearly the same thing, even though anime is just the word for animation in Japanese. So all this to say, I love how they reference Disney throughout the whole episode, but then they kind of put small things in there.
Everyone okay?
But where's the princess?
Is she okay too?
She flew out of the truck and got thrown towards that burger shop.
Let's help him.
Like the actual references to the original Snow White as almost like a respect. Also, if you do want to watch this show, it's not the first season. I know not everyone can get into it because maybe they watched the first season, they're like, what is this? The first season, they don't have powers yet, so it's not as like funny. It feels like a prequel, but it's there. But I would you could get to it, in my opinion, anytime to get more context on what things are. You might not get references such as like Dio or the Speedwagon Foundation, but honestly, if you can look past that, you can go to whatever season you want to. It just is really funny. I personally love the season I'm referring to, which has, oh my gosh, it's the first time they had a female main character, and the first episode I was like, oh, this can go two ways, but I ended up really loving it. So yeah, would recommend. You could start on this season, I think, if you wanted to. I think it has this humor factor that would automatically makes me love it. Also, the dub is really good. I know the dubs could be like trash, garbage, not even recycling. That would be too much of a compliment. I know they could be bad, but this one, the dub, is like the voice acting is so funny.
Oh, see? Someone's been snacking on that apple over there.
Hey, Weather, you seeing this? What the fuck is going on?
It's so good. And they have so many goofy moments. It's so unserious, but then you're gonna have small moments that are like kind of serious. You're like, you know, I had a moment like that, okay?
She's so cute. Oh, wow. How is she so cute? And she's even cuter sleeping on my shoulder like that.
Don't act like you never looked at somebody and was like, they're so cute right now. I feel like I could wife them or husband them up right now, you know? Like I could just pull out this ring pop. And then the way it just turned to this very like comedic moment.
You see those gators? The alligators have come all the way out here! Damn it. They think they're so goddamn safe because they're federally protected.
And also the season is in Florida. And then they show all the alligators in Florida. I want to know if anyone from Florida feels like that's accurate. You just drive down the road and you have thousands of alligators because they're protected. As they mentioned, because they're protected federally. I just love the show. So this is basically me just kind of bringing up, do you think that this anime, this is the big question I'm going to have in my community post. Do you think this anime depicted the real tale, both kind of the original Grimm's tale as well as the Disney tale, better than Disney did in this live action that has a lot less live things than you'd expect? And I know Disney's working on I think they're trying to really recover this movie, and I don't want to say low-key, I know you guys called me out for it last time. I'll look up a synonym later. But I want to see what happens. Not even hoping for the worst of it. I want to see, since it started so bad, how they can recover it, and then take notes of like, wow, okay, in the future, if something goes this bad, you can learn how to fix it. With marketing, because I went to literally, marketing is like my degree, so I'm interested in that type of stuff, as well as just films, which I also have a huge interest in just personally. So I'm actually rooting for them somewhere, but I'm just confused on how this got here. And then for me, as someone who doesn't have millions of dollars in my account, as much as, you know, this $40 mic was a little rough for me, okay? That's my thing. I can't believe how that money could just feel like it vanquished. I saw someone say, I feel like someone's pocketing it in Disney. And honestly, in conspiracy land here, maybe. I've seen a lot of things. No proof, just theories. Anyways, what else? This anime was so funny. The fact that they had the prince, because this is accurate to the original story again. The prince was kind of just obsessed with her beauty and was like, I'm gonna take this from the dwarves, and I don't think it's disclosed exactly how he did it, but you can picture him as being a creep on the original, because he just saw this girl who looks not alive anymore, was like, wow, she's so beautiful, bring her to my castle. I'm the rich prince, yes, I get what I want. That's weird, you know, as Rachel said, but I don't think she read the original, and I don't think that's what she was referring to. She was referring to the Disney one, which was a lot less like that, or it wasn't depicted like that.
Yay! Hooray!
The princess has awakened!
Our lovely Snow White has finally woken up!
The geezer from the chocolate shop?
Hey there! Did you find your story? I'm tired of being old and alone. I don't need my body anymore. My last days will be spent as Snow White's Prince Charming. It's my greatest dream come true!
It's just like the story! Just like the story!
Like the story? Again?
But the way that they made it so funny here, I just, you know, what's a coincidence? You know, what a coincidence that I happened to see this episode of JoJo after seeing a trailer, like, you know, and they had this other thing where they were talking about, is like, oh yeah, we don't know these guys. Those are the greatest animations in Japan, by the way. They are literally the ones that I feel like really started anime. I think Astro Boy was one of them. I didn't identify the other ones, but they were like, oh, those are Japanese. The animations look cool, but that's about it, or something like that.
Hey, look! Anybody know those guys?
I know them, but it ain't like I'm friends with them or anything.
They're Japanese. They've got some cool designs, but they're totally overrated.
Which I feel like is a comment from like real Disney. Because JoJo refers to actual things. Like, it's either very close to something that could have happened, would have happened. You have a moment of, like, learning. I didn't know what an infinity sign came from.
You start by tracing the surface with your finger. And from there, keep going. If you continue to trace without ever lifting your finger from the surface, you realize that you've somehow ended up on the other side. But after going around the entire length of it, you find yourself back at the starting point. This shape with no front side or back side was discovered in the 19th century by a German mathematician. In honor of him, the shape was dubbed the Mobius strip.
Who it came from. I didn't know any of those details, and this is why I love anime. And the fact that this anime depicted Snow White better than Disney, the person who made the original huge fairy tale everyone, you know, recognizes, did not. It just feels like someone wasn't studying up. I mean, no offense by it, but it just feels like that, okay? Not to be assumptuous, but I'm assuming. I'm sorry. So this was just a small and short video. I'm having this whole journey with Disney right now, and then you guys seem to be kind of going on that same journey with me, so I'm going to keep posting. Not forever, just like, it's really, Disney and I are having a decline, and I'm not sure. I'm not like boycotting necessarily. I'm figuring it out, though. I think you're helping me figure it out, so, yeah. I'm gonna have a few more videos on Disney. Amanda Steinberg is someone I used to kind of like look up to, and then now she's opening her mouth, and I am older and I am confused, and so I have a video on that as well. And then I have a final analysis of Snow White, and I think that's where I'm probably gonna end my time with Snow White. But then you guys actually recommended that I saw the scary version of Snow White and said it was pretty good. And then I also saw these little clips of how, oh my gosh, Kristen Stewart, I freaking love Kristen Stewart, how she talks about Snow White. I remember liking the movie, but I was pretty young when it came out, so now I want to rewatch both of the Snow Whites and maybe do a little review on that. That might happen. I feel I am in such a weird mental state with Snow White, and I told you it's so much bigger for me than that. I think it's also that I'm growing up and that the world is changing, obviously, and you know, it's just things. I'm just a typical girl. Atypicalaimee is what they call me. That's my name. So I want to continue the discussion down below. Even if you disagree with me, totally valid. I want to see people that are even more hopeful in this film than I am, because I just feel weird about Disney altogether, how I should feel the face of Disney versus what's going on behind the scenes, the way that they react or approach things as a company just seems very interesting to me now as an adult. So I'm just kind of going through this analysis. If you're into it, just keep swinging on by. I've been appreciating all the comments and everything, and yeah, you guys have been great. I hope you know you're great, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next video. Bye!